coronavirus outbreak.
Experience the extraordinary.
Tremendous waste and tremendous fraud. Mexico is, in fact, you will soon find out.
It is a day to celebrate.
We don't approve at all what's going on.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily unusual.
Challenge your ordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat. Challenge your ordinary. Experience the extraordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Now, I believe that my peace is my most valuable asset.
Absolutely beautiful!
This is exactly what I was looking for!
DJ Khaled!
It is a day to celebrate.
We're ready for action.
I like it when it's nice and soft. Yeah, that is nice.
How was it like growing up in Nigeria? Yes, sir, you know what it is.
Feeling is there that, you're doing something special.
Stop being so dramatic, Mira.
You should just be what you want to be.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat.
Hello there and a warm welcome to Galaxy Prime. Thank you so much for joining us. It is that time of the evening again. It is such a pleasure to be in your company. This is Galaxy Universal Network coming to you live from our Midrand studios here in Gallagher Estate. We are live in over 40 countries across the continent, and also our social media pages are available for you. Our Facebook page is live as we speak. Please do leave your comments on our Twitter handle as well as our Instagram pages. Would love to hear from you. My name is Audrey Chimwanda. It's just gone 5:30 p.m. Central African time. Let's take a look at our top stories. The Hawks and the National Prosecuting Authority arrest top VBS officials that are linked to the bank's 2 billion rand looting. And Edcon moves to retrench over 20,000 workers. In international news, Britain announces a life-saving COVID-19 drug. Now, in our top story, the Hawks and the National Prosecuting Authority have confirmed that four suspects linked to the looting of the VBS Bank have been arrested. The allegations came into the spotlight in 2018 following the release of a report that was commissioned by the South African Reserve Bank. The investigation was led by advocate Terry Mudau, which found that close to 2 billion rand was looted from the bank with the help of executives. The National Head of Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, Lieutenant General Godfrey Lebeya, briefed the nation today on the matter earlier. Let's have a recap of what he said.
Today, members of the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, DPCI, conducted a simultaneous search and seizure operations in 10 premises in Gauteng and Limpopo provinces. The team also executed warrants of arrest on 4 suspects. 3 other suspects are expected to hand themselves today. The 8th suspect has been affected by COVID-19 quarantine requirements. So as soon as all of the relevant processes are completed, we will be securing the attendance of the 8th suspect also in court. It was decided to charge the suspects with 47 counts of various criminal offenses. These are 5 counts of the pattern of racketeering activities in contravention of the Prevention of Organized Crime Act. That is the POCA. 12 of these counts are of theft, common law offense. 7 of these are for fraud, which is also common law. 15 counts are corruption, that is in terms of the contravention of the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act. 7 counts are of money laundering in terms of the poker legislation.
And those who have been arrested are expected to appear at the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court on Thursday, and they have not been named until they appear in court. Now, the VBS Bank was formed to be a savings facility back in 1982, and it saw many individuals channel their savings to the bank. This included pensioners who had channeled their money to the bank. They lost their life savings, and this after the news of the looting came to light. A total of 20 municipalities across the country had illegally investigated over R1 billion in the bank, with some only able to recover just a little of their funds. Now, the head of the National Prosecuting Authority, Shamila Batoye, described it as perhaps the biggest bank robbery in the country.
The team also has to be meticulous and painstakingly go through all the evidence with a fine-tooth comb. We have to do this in order to ensure that in the end, justice does prevail and the rule of law prevails as well. We owe it to all the investors of the bank, in particular the elderly men and women of Limpopo and beyond, who lost their hard-earned earnings and lifetime savings.
In other news, Edcon Holdings, which owns Edgar's Jet, CNA and others, have served their 22,000 employees with notices of retrenchments. They blame load shedding and the initial 45-day lockdown for its collapse. In March, Edcon announced that it was officially under business rescue, adding that it had lost R2 billion in sales since early March and was unable to pay its suppliers for both March and April month ends. The retrenchment notice, dated 10 June, addressed to all employees and labour union South African Commercial Catering and Allied Workers Union, stated that the company's 2019 restructuring plan, this includes sourcing R2.7 billion from others and Public Investment Corporation, had been on track until the end of 2019. Now, SACAO's Secretariat Coordinator Lucas Ramatlodi said the union felt the decision to put Edcon under business rescue was premature, and they have raised these concerns with the Trade, Industry and Competition Minister Ibrahim Patel. Edcon says the reason that they have had to send these retrenchment notices to all their staff members is because they have not received any binding offers from people that are interested in buying the company or any of their divisions. The move makes it the biggest retrenchment plan yet than any other local company has announced during the lockdown. Now, in Tshwane, ANC Youth League Regional Chairperson Lesego Makubela says he longs for a generation of young people that seek to represent the contemporary issues that were faced by ordinary citizens. Makubela said the current generations should take cue from the 1976 Youth League, which sought to represent the poor and marginalized at the time. He further added that the then generation had aspirations and determination to fight for the people as opposing to enriching themselves. The youth of 1976 were not representing their jackets. They were not there to feel their stomachs because they were anxiously engaged in becoming instrument of the voice of the voiceless. Now, the regional chairperson continued to caution those who sought to destroy the Youth League structures in the country. He reminded them that destroying the very same structures would be like killing the actual organization, as they're the future of the very same organization. Economic Freedom Fighters leader Julius Malema says the youth of 1976 did not risk their lives for our freedom so that our lives can be sacrificed to maintain the strength of an apartheid economy. Malema said this while addressing the EFF Virtual Youth Day rally. The EFF leader told members of his party not to allow the country to be run like a family affair, which he said was being presided over by the adopted child of the Minel family and allies of the Ruperts and Oppenheimers. Malema then accused President Cyril Ramaphosa of pleasing those who funded his 2017 Nasrec campaign of becoming ANC president and later became the country's #1 citizen. He said that they have warned President Cyril Ramaphosa, who has constituted himself as an ally of white monopoly capital and the coronavirus, that he will be held personally responsible for the loss of life that is going to happen as a result of his decision. The EFF leader continued to say that President Ramaphosa will be met with the same attitude of his predecessor for having sold off the national assets and sacrificing the lives of workers and children as well as the elderly. He told members of his organization that their party will continue defending the rights of all South Africans, particularly workers in their difficult times. He further pledged their solidarity with the people of the Western Sahara in order for them to realize real political independence. In other stories now, Gauteng police have arrested a 31-year-old suspect. Is linked to the murder of 8-month pregnant Tsegofatso Pule, who was 28 years old and whose body was found stabbed and hanged in a veld in Roodepoort last week. According to the police spokesperson, they said the man was arrested on his way from Mpumalanga and he was expected to appear at the magistrates' courts this morning. Notolo Kweza from the police said they wouldn't have done this without the cooperation of the community, for which they are very grateful. Now, the suspect is expected to appear at the Roodepoort Magistrates Court today, and Gauteng Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Elias Mawela also applauded the detectives for their swift response in the investigation into Pule's death. We'll take a very short break now. When we come back, we take a look at stories from outside of the South African borders. Do stay with us. More updates after this.
The coronavirus outbreak.
Experience the extraordinary.
Tremendous waste and tremendous fraud. Mexico is, in fact, you will soon find out.
It is a day to celebrate.
We don't approve at all what's going on.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily unusual.
Challenge your ordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat. Challenge your ordinary. Experience the extraordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Now, I believe that my peace is my most valuable asset.
Absolutely beautiful!
This is exactly what I was looking for.
DJ Khaled!
It is a day to celebrate.
We're ready for action.
I like it when it's nice and soft. Yeah, that is nice.
How was it like growing up in Nigeria? Yes, sir, you know what it is.
Feeling is there that, you're doing something special.
Stop being so dramatic, Mira.
You should just be what you want to be.
Experience the extraordinary with StarSat.
The power to defeat coronavirus is in our hands. Play your part by following these 5 basic precautions. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water or sanitizer for at least 20 seconds. Maintain a safe distance of at least 1.5 meters from people around you. Wear a cloth mask at all times when in public. Always cough or sneeze into your elbow or tissue. If you're an employer, screen your employees daily for symptoms of COVID-19 and where appropriate, refer for testing. Working together, we can beat the coronavirus. A message from government.
Welcome to Amandla Omnoto Business Talk Show.
It was a legacy left by the apartheid government.
Yeah.
It's very important that for business people, whether they are especially SMMEs, in doing business with developing countries.
The measurements, on the other hand, that have been introduced to deal with COVID-19 have harmed our economy beyond what I think has even been measured.
The giants like China realizing that the US and Europe are losing the grip in the world economy, and Africa was a playground.
Many of black people's small businesses in particular are not even registered.
Any country that has ever been reliant on IMF has never been able to come out.
Africa is indebted to Asia and Europe.
Welcome to Amandla Omnotho Business Talk Show, a show that discusses economic fundamentals with a focus on small businesses. Tune into Amandla Omnotho Business Talk Show on Galaxy Universal Network, channel 500 on Starset.
You're still watching Galaxy Prime. Thank you for staying with us. We are on channel 500 on Starsat. We appreciate you being with us this evening. We continue with our top stories from the continent. Mali's President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita has announced that he will hold talks on establishing a new unity government. This after weeks of escalating criticism from the country's political opposition. In a speech in the capital Bamako, the president also suggested the first steps towards reforming the Constitutional Court and the National Parliament. Now, the series of announcements came as the president has been struggling to maintain political support in the volatile West African state over a revolt from the terrorists there that first broke out in the north in 2012. The violence has since spread to the center of the country, inflaming ethnic tensions, as well as to neighboring Burkina Faso and in Niger. Thousands of soldiers and civilians have died in the conflict, while hundreds of thousands have fled to their homes. On the 5th of June, tens of thousands of people rallied in the Bamako demanding the president's resignation over his perceived mismanagement of the poor Sahel country. The protest was organized by a coalition of political opposition groups. We go to Kenya now. They have reported a sudden surge in teen pregnancies in one single county over a period of 5 months, thus threatening to cut short the pursuit for education among school-going girls. Machakos County, it is located in the northeastern province of Kenya, is leading several other counties in terms of teenage pregnancies in Kenya. According to the country's Health Information System survey, a total of about 4,000 girls aged 19 years and below were reported to have fallen pregnant within the period of lockdown. Children's Department Officer Salome Mutama attributed the rise in teen pregnancies to the COVID-19 pandemic, which led to school closure. She accused parents of neglecting their children and urged them to step up in their roles as parents, as the majority of the cases involve close relatives. Kenya has been listed among countries with the highest teen pregnancy rates, with 82 births per 1,000 births. In international news now, the British government has immediately authorized a drug that can improve COVID-19 survival. Researchers in England say they have the first evidence that the drug is highly effective. The relatively cheap and widely available steroid has reduced deaths by up to 1/3 in severely ill hospitalized patients. The study led by the University of Oxford was a large, strict test that randomly assigned 2,104 patients to get the drug and compared them with 4,321 patients getting only casual care. Now, the drug was given either orally or through an IV for 10 days, and after 4 weeks, it had reduced deaths by 35% in patients who needed the treatment with the breathing machines, and by 20% in those only needing supplemental oxygen. It did not appear to help the less ill patients, and researchers estimated that the drug would prevent 1 death for every 8 patients treated while in breathing machines, and 1 for every 25 patients on extra oxygen alone. And that's an end to our international stories. We have a special segment on Galaxy Prime today, courtesy of this being Youth Month. We thought we'd profile the youth of the country who are really doing amazing things. We hardly bring you entertainment on Galaxy Prime, and today we thought, why not? We have a bunch of youth on the program today who are performers, they're artists, they're making waves in the industry, and they have a performance that we want you to watch just before we have an interview with them. Let's take it away.
You are my love, my baby girl. I never leave you, my baby girl. I started on this morning song, my love. Ngizohlala ngikuthanda ngenhliziyo.
You are my love, and I'm signing out. Ngaphandle kwakho, ngiyakhumbula. You are my love, and I'm signing out. Ngaphandle kwakho, ngiyakhumbula. You are my love, and I'm signing out. Ngaphandle kwakho, ngiyakhumbula. You are my love, and I'm signing out. Ngaphandle kwakho, ngiyakhumbula. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ngiyakhumbula. Themba lami, baba wezingane zami, ngaphandle kwakho angilutho, ingakho ngithi buya. Ngiyakhumbula, ngiyakhumbula, ngiyakhumbula.
You are my love, my baby girl. I never leave you, my baby girl. I started on this morning song, my love. Ngizohlala ngikuthanda ngenhliziyo.
You are my love, and I'm signing out. Ngaphandle kwakho, ngiyakhumbula. You are my love, and I'm signing out. Ngaphandle kwakho, ngiyakhumbula. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah,
Listen, Uchani Uyababa, this girl is hot. Did you guys hear that? Amazing performance. And guess what? That's not all we have for you. We also have 2 gentlemen, but I'm sure they'll have a problem with me calling them gentlemen. They're still very young. We have Lincoln King and Mafia that also have a performance that is just for you. And we're going to cross to that in just a moment. Enjoy.
Then we lost a Peterson. I'm speaking for the youth, so I have to intervene. You older than me, so you probably disagree. But take a look around and see. Ingane Shabulil, busy running, playing hide and seek. Cause we fought for our people and we fought for our freedom. You the heroes of the nation. This is our dedication. You gave us education, you gave us equal rights. Hold by the hand, everything is alright. Now they use this the future and it's looking so bright. Democracy in our hands, I will let it sleep twice. Cause Ilucha Dogadel, Ilucha President, Ilucha Ngamanes, Ilucha Social Work, Ilucha has the arts, Ilucha Councillor, Ilucha Ngamamen, Ilucha Ngumaspala. I mean, who's gonna lead when the youth die? I mean, who's gonna preach when the youth die? I mean, who's gonna teach when the youth die? Be the pillar and the strength of this world, right? I mean, who's gonna lead when the youth die? I mean, who's gonna teach when the youth die? I mean, who's gonna preach when the youth die? Be the pillar and the strength of this world, right? Yeah.
Never
month with Galaxy Universal Network. That is what we're doing, and we certainly hope that you're enjoying it just as much as we are. Now, listen. The artists that are responsible for the entertainment that you just listened to right now are in studio with me, and I'm going to start with the lady because, as the gentleman said before we actually started this interview, ladies first. Guys, it is cold, but you've managed to bring the heat into the studio, and not just the studio, but across the continent, because we're being viewed everywhere. China, let's start with you. I mean, that performance was just something else. Could you tell us what inspired you?
Okay, hi, and thank you for having me here. I've been passionate about music for quite a while now, and then I kept on pushing, even though it was hard at first, but then I'm here where I am because I didn't give up. So giving up is not an option.
What was hard about it?
Getting into the industry, of course, and then you have to know people who knows people, so you know that kind of vibe.
And the name of the song, could you tell us about it?
Okay, the name of the song is Booyah.
Yeah.
It's actually dedicated to the love of my life.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
we want a name. Are we naming names today?
No.
Who's the love of your life? Tell us.
No.
Tell us.
Not
Come
today.
on.
Not today. Not today.
Okay, fine.
But he knows himself.
He knows himself.
For sure.
Okay, you all know yourselves. Okay. I mean, he knows himself. No, that's amazing, man. That was such an amazing performance. So, is the genre of music that you've chosen to take, with your career, is it something that you've always wanted to do, or were you forced into that direction because of what people want to listen to?
Okay, first of all, people know me as a rapper, but recently I thought about just trying something else, which is I'm a piano, the trending genre.
I know, right?
So I was like, okay, let me try this out and then see where it takes me. And then I was impressed by how I did with the stroke.
Well, we are impressed. Trust and believe. So we're in Youth Month. You know that just yesterday was a Youth Day. What does that mean to you as a youth in South Africa?
It shows what our parents did for us to be where we are now. They fought for our freedom and education. So we should thank them. Yeah.
Okay.
They are heroes.
And going forward, what kind of an example would you like to set? I mean, as you take on the responsibility of being a role model, I suspect that's what you want to be going forward.
Indeed. I just want to pursue all the younger generation who are coming after us and telling them that if you want something, just go for it. No matter how hard it takes you to get where you are, just don't give up, because giving up is not an option.
And especially now in this age of COVID-19, it's been very difficult for a lot of artists. We're not able to go out there and perform and make a living. And such a young artist as yourself, how have you been coping?
I've been trying, even though sometimes I feel like giving up, but I was like, no, that's not you.
The youth of 76 didn't give up, so we don't get to give up, right?
So keep pushing, you'll get where you want to go.
Precisely. Yeah. Amazing. Now let's talk to the gentleman. I don't know who we start. Do we start with the king first, or do we start with the mafia? Just in case we get in trouble with the mafia. Okay, we'll start with Lincoln King. Please give him the mic. Lincoln, the beauty about music is, it transcends all languages, because as we're speaking right now, we are being watched across the continent and by other people from around the world that are on our Facebook page, that are overseas, and I'm sure they enjoyed that. Can you tell us what inspired you to be an artist?
So into inspiration ukuthi ngibe artist, like bengihlezi nginesifiso sokuthi mangikhula like ngibe umculi, ngicule, ngilalelwe izwe lonke, ngishare ama ideas wami, ngidlulisa imessage, like ngibhale ngezinto engizibonayo. Uyazi, it's all about that. Iyo into engiinspireshile leyo, and then ngaqala ngaphusha ku music, ngaphusha up until ngize ngifike la ngikhona.
And the name of this particular song?
Name of this song is called The Youth. We decided ukuthi vele siyibize.
Yes.
Because like
uyazi
ukuthi like June 16 like kunabantu ababalwa ukuthi like thina siphile ngalendlela esiphila ngayo manje.
It's our time.
It's our time.
Well, it's your time. I'm not a youth anymore. It's time.
So yeah, like sithema hlala sacabanga ukuthi like maybe masingayenza ingoma ye appreciation, but no, like labantu laba basilwela ukuthi siphile ngendlela esithanda ngayo. So ingoma like ingasho ikhulu.
So where do you know this guy from? Where do you know Mafia from? Because the chemistry that you guys have on stage, you know, tells that there's a story behind. Could you care to tell us how you guys met?
Well, so Mafia, he's from Cape Town.
Okay.
And I'm from KZN.
All right.
Escort. So ngihlangane no Mafia la eJozi. Mangifika ngizophanta uyazi ukuthi like abantu bahlezi behlangana. Bona abantu, and then mangifika ngahlangana no Mafia, ngathanda style sakhe, wathanda style sami, and then like no ntwana asisibani uyazi sitshengisa abantu italent.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
Let's give the mic to Mafia and have a word in there. Mafia, I'm even scared to ask why you chose that name, bruh. Mafia. We have a Mafia in the building. Tell us how did you come about that name?
Hello, and thank you for having me. Mafia, basically Mafia ngathiwa ichomi yami ezangihamba naye isikolo. I was going to school with him, yabo. Wangitshela ukuthi I know this guy named Mafia, you look more like him, and then waqala ungibiza Mafia. But then the name I took it mna angayenza into negative, ngayifaka kwinto positive. Sheba mangiyenza umculo igama lami Mafia, and then ngibonisa abantu talent enalo.
Nice. So are you guys a group? I mean, the two of you, I know Chinese is by herself, or are you just using your individual names? Or do you have an official group together?
No, actually, Mna no Lincoln, we are artists signed under Nas Production.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Spana song, Hlezi was Spana so too, but Spana song in everything.
Yeah, because you guys, like I was saying before, your performance really was amazing. Like even people that don't understand what you're saying, you know, I can see people, but the comments right now that are on social media of people just really appreciating your art is something really, you know, to be proud of. So going forward, what are your plans?
My plans.
My
plans.
I know COVID-19 has been, I don't know what to call this thing. It's just been the worst thing ever. But how do you turn it into a positive instead of just, you know, complaining to say, oh, COVID-19 has stopped us from doing 1, 2, 3 things? Because you know what? As the youth, we look to you guys to be innovative, to come up with a plan, you know, for better things. What are you planning going forward?
My plans going forward is releasing more music. And then like benda yonke nje lizwe lonke umculo wami ngetalent enginalo, and into enginayinika youth ukuthi like esibeshilo uChina ukuthi ungagive up yabo. COVID-19 is not like kumakelizwe limile nxa, it's just like isibambezele nje kancane and then saphinda sibuyele on our feet and then we get back there again, guys.
So do you have an album at the moment, or is it just the singles at the moment?
It's singles at the moment, but we're working on one.
Okay. And your social media platforms, I know how important that is for artists out there to have a bunch of followers, because that's where you get, you know, people hyping you up and your revenue. Tell us about your social media platforms, your handles, so that people that were listening that want to know where they can find you can actually do that right now.
Okay, social media platforms, Facebook, Mafia CPT. Twitter, it's Mafia CPT. Instagram, Mafia_CPT_. And then go please and follow Nas Production _RSA. Nama bookings is nasproduction88@gmail.com. WhatsApp number 072-942-1685.
Okay, and just very quickly, because I didn't ask you this question, Youth Day, what does it mean to you?
Youth Day means a lot to me because like our grandfathers and the generation back then.
Because really it's the whole month about the youth. It's not just the one day, the whole month. And a lot of people don't know that it's actually International Day of the African Child. So even not just in South Africa, but you know, the AU has declared it as such. So it's a very powerful day. But anyway, continue.
Like basilela ukuthi sithole freedom yabo kuba ngingakho la namhlanje babise khona apartheid manje basilela ukuthi sithole freedom siphile ngendlela esifuna ukuphila ngayo sihamba indawo esifuna uzihamba sibe free sibe sithi yabo. So youth into enginoyinika yona ukuthi like mabakhiphe baphushe balandela amaphupho wabo bangayeki.
Okay.
They're gonna get there eventually.
All right. And is your music on any digital platforms at the moment? Because obviously you can't perform out there at the moment.
Not at the moment, but we'll be releasing soon.
Yes, so guys, keep pushing. We wish you all the best, and don't stop. Like you're saying, you're going to keep pushing, and we'll be there hyping you up, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Okay. And those are the youth that we profiled on this program today. We certainly hope you enjoyed it. And please go and follow them on their social media platforms. But of course, don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms as well at GUN_TV_ for both our Twitter and our Instagram and our Facebook page, Galaxy Universal Network. Please go on there and like the page. My name is Audrey Shimwanda. It's been a pleasure to be in your company. A little later on one of your favorite shows will be airing with Bishop J. Maponga. That is Sankofa. He'll be talking everything about being African and how important it is. I will not give it away, but be sure that you stay tuned. For myself, have a good night.
The coronavirus outbreak.
Experience the extraordinary.
Tremendous waste and tremendous fraud. Mexico is, in fact, you will soon find out.
It is a day to celebrate.
We don't approve at all what's going on.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily unusual.
Challenge your ordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Experience the extraordinary with Starsat. Challenge your ordinary. Experience the extraordinary.
Not only the government, the municipality here has had no plan.
Now, I believe that my peace is my most valuable asset.
Absolutely beautiful!
This is exactly what I was looking for!
DJ Khaled!
It is a day to celebrate.
We're ready for action.
I like it when it's nice and soft. Yeah, that is nice.
How was it like growing up in Nigeria? Yes, sir, you know what it is.
Feeling is there that, you're doing something special.
Stop being so dramatic, Mira.
You should just be what you want to be.
Experience the extraordinary with Starsat.
The power to defeat coronavirus is in our hands. Play your part by following these 5 basic precautions. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water or sanitizer for at least 20 seconds. Maintain a safe distance of at least 1.5 meters from people around you. Wear a cloth mask at all times when in public. Always cough or sneeze into your elbow or tissue. If you're an employer, screen your employees daily for symptoms of COVID-19 and where appropriate, refer